Yo, YouTube, what's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy Q, back at it again with another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. I'm back at it again with another video, man. Uh, we gotta talk about what's going on in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow and the Bengals, man. What the hell is going on over there in Cincinnati, Ohio, fam? Uh, now Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals missed the playoffs last season. Don't get me wrong, Joe Burrow had a great season, like 40 some touchdown passes. Um, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, you know how them guys do, man. But the biggest issue with the Cincinnati Bengals last season was their defense, ranked in the bottom half of the NFL in total defense. Um, and I kind of me personally, I do like Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in football. However, I do feel like it's hard for me to view him, and it's a little harder for me to view him in that lens because he's not making the playoffs, because he's not winning playoff games like that. So it's kind of hard for me to view Joe Burrow because it's really hard for me to put like how do you view Joe Burrow right now? Like we know Joe Burrow has all the talent in the world. He can make all the throws. He's a great quarterback, but he's not winning. And it's not solely on him. He's doing the best that he can do. What I mean? Joe Burrow has missed a few games due to injury and shit like that. But for the most part, when Joe Burrow is on the field and he's actually playing, he's really really good. It's just what's holding him back. I do feel like is the Cincinnati Bengals in the front office. You know, for starters, they drafted Shamar Stewart with the 17th overall pick in this past draft, and they put a clause in his contract saying that if he ended up getting arrested or whatever the fuck, that all his money would be non-guaranteed. And now I know they just recently came to an agreement because he played in one of their preseason games not that long ago, but he was holding out for a while. He was
Today?
Uh, I just decided not to sign those papers.
Do you anticipate signing your contract before Monday to join the team, or you're not sure when that's going to come together?
I would hope so. I would love to be part of the team. I'd be on the sideline just looking at everybody else do work.
To say how tough it is up for you.
Yeah, especially on the first day, it was kind of tough on me.
Are you part of the meetings? Are you doing other things as part of this?
Oh yeah, I'm doing everything else. I'm just like on the field stuff. I'm not doing it.
and practicing with the team. He was missing training camps. He was missing OTAs. He was missing rookie mini camps because of this contract dispute. And on the other side of things, you have a guy in Trey Hendrickson who led the league in sacks last year with 17 and a half sacks, and the Bengals don't want to pay him either. And mind you, earlier I just told y'all that the Cincinnati Bengals' biggest issue last season was the fact that they couldn't play no fucking defense. But the only good defender that they had on their team last season, or the ones that I could remember really, is Trey Hendrickson, and they're refusing to pay him. But Joe Burrow, the same person that I just mentioned, which I'm not, he's the one that's telling the Bengals that they need to pay Jamar Chase and they need to pay T. Higgins. Now the Cincinnati Bengals don't have any money to put into their defense. And I think that right there, to me, is the nail in the coffin for the Cincinnati Bengals, bro. Don't get me wrong. I like T. Higgins. Okay, I think T. Higgins can be a good number 2 wide receiver. I don't view him as a number 1, but I really do think T. Higgins is really good. He's really nice. The only problem with T. Higgins is you don't necessarily needed to pay T. Higgins all that money though. Now, don't get me wrong. I heard Jamar Chase saying that him and T. Higgins was a package deal. I'm not buying that shit at all. If I'm the Cincinnati Bengals front office, I'm telling Jamar Chase that you and Joe Burrow are a package deal. Okay? T. Higgins is making too much money, and we need to put some money towards this damn defense. I don't even know any defenders that they signed this offseason. I don't know any impact defensive free agents they signed. I know they signed. They recently just signed Shamar Stewart. Like I said, they picked him with the 17th overall pick. We don't know what he's going to be because he's a rookie, so we don't know. But Joe Burrow still has, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to throw the ball to, so they're going to end up putting up 50 points. While they're in the same breath of them putting 50 points up on the board, they're giving up 80, 70. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals are trying to do something they're trying to do something right now that can't really be done anymore. All right. You have to have in order for you to win the Super Bowl nowadays, you have to have a good defense, bro. Because 9 times out of 10, the team that you're playing in, that you're gonna end up playing in the Super Bowl, is probably gonna be a good offensive team. So you wanna make sure your defense is good. Okay. Trey Hendrickson's still holding out. I believe they are listening to trade offers for him. And honestly, I do think they should trade Hendrickson because I do think that he should get paid. The man had 17.5 sacks last season. Okay. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. If the NFL is not really trying to pay defensive ends right now, because even Michael Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys is also holding out as well. And he's had, as much as I hate the Cowboys, because I'm an Eagles fan, you know what I mean? But let's just be honest, bro. Michael Parsons has been a very, very dominant player for the Dallas Cowboys ever since he stepped foot in the NFL. It's time for you to pay him, Jerry. So pay him what he's owed. You know what I mean? It's just that's one of the things that I really, really don't get with the NFL sometimes. Like, you could earn your money, but they still won't pay you depending on what position you're playing. Like Trevor Lawrence getting paid all this money. You can't sit here and tell me that Trevor Lawrence was a better player than Trey Hendrickson was last season. You can't tell me that. You can't. You really can't. Let's just be honest. But Trey Hendrickson here, still unsigned. Even after all the work he done put in, still unsigned. They're still trying to lowball the man. The Cincinnati Bengals will never be a good franchise, will never be a good team because of these reasons, man. They spend their money on the wrong shit. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I like T. Higgins, bro, but they could have traded T. Higgins. They didn't have to sign him to that big contract, and they could have went and picked up another rookie receiver. Because if you have a guy like Joe Burrow, and you really believe in Joe Burrow's abilities, okay? And let's just be for real. The only thing that Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are doing right now is putting asses in seats. They do not have enough to win a Super Bowl. They don't even have enough right now to make it to the playoffs. You know? So the only thing that they can really rest their laurels, their hat on, is that offense, that passing attack. And I just don't think that's good enough to win a Super Bowl. I just don't think so. I think you need some type of relevant defense in order to compete. That's just my opinion. You know, but the Cincinnati Bengals are setting Joe Burrow up for failure. But Joe Burrow, in the same sense, was the same guy that was advocating for everybody to get paid on the offense. I never heard Joe Burrow say nothing about no defense. Never heard him talk about the defense whatsoever about getting paid. But when Jamar Chase is contract, it's time for him to get contract. Joe Burrow's advocating for that, which, in all fairness, that's his boy, so I'm not mad at him. T. Higgins to get paid, T. Higgins getting paid too. But where does that leave your defense? Because let's just be for real, bro. The only reason why anybody would want to go to Cincinnati is because of Joe Burrow. Right? Like, let's just be honest. I'm not looking at Cincinnati Bengals as like a free agency destination that everybody's going to be clamoring to go to. They're just not. So you got to draft good and you got to sign the right guys. And honestly, bro, if Joe Burrow is that great, why couldn't you have just drafted a rookie receiver and see where things go? If Joe Burrow is that special. Like, that's what I'm saying. Certain organizations don't do things the right way, and they wonder why they get stuck in mediocrity for 10 plus years. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. You think they wanted to get rid of Tyreek Hill? They didn't want to get rid of Tyreek Hill. But Tyreek Hill got too expensive. And if you have a great quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, what the fuck do you need Tyreek Hill for? You don't need the best of the best wide receivers when you have a great quarterback. I honestly want to see what Joe Burrow would look like without Jamar Chase. I honestly want to see what Joe Burrow would look like without a T. Higgins. I don't think you need all of that. I honestly don't. I think you could have put some money towards the defense. Something. You know what I mean? But, yeah, man, that's just my thoughts on the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Cheapskate-ass organization. They'll never win anything. I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the playoffs again this season. But that's just my opinion, though. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to take a step back this year, or do you think they're going to improve and actually make it to the playoffs? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. But other than that, I'm out, man. Peace. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.